All right, welcome back to our book club podcast where we're going to be talking about the Hunger Games. And in this episode, we're going to be talking specifically about the first book in the Hunger Games series, the original book. My name is Riley.
I'm Madeline.
And I'm Hannah.
All right, so the plot of the first book, for those who haven't read it, is we're in this dystopian type United States in the future where war has ravaged the entire country, and what is left is the capital, which is the government, who controls 12 districts, each one producing various necessities that the capital and the civilization needs. So coal, there's textiles, wood, like cavalry, like anything you can think of. And in this dystopian world, because of the war that happened, and now that the capital has power, they punish the districts for starting the war originally by every year having a female and a male tribute from each district go to the capital and compete in a bloodbath till there's one tribute left, and that's the winner of these games called the Hunger Games. And they get money for life, food for life, and happy family, but there's dysfunction underneath. So, yeah.
And all the districts are in, like, extreme poverty. So the way, like, putting your name into the games is voluntary, but it's not really, because they give you, like, food and, like, resources every time you put your name in. So when these people are starving, they have no choice but to put their name in, like, a bunch of times. So, yeah, it's just...
Isn't everyone required to do it at least once, though, after a certain age?
Yeah,
Okay.
well, and these people that are doing it are 12 to 18 years old, so children. So our main character, Katniss, is from the District 12, which is the poorest of the districts. Her father died in a mining explosion, and she put her name in there like 60 times to get rations.
And her sister, Prim, was in it only one time, because it was her first year.
12, yeah.
Yeah.
And Prim got raped. She got her name picked, and since it is a voluntary system, Katniss volunteered in her place.
Yeah. Because Katniss is supposed to be, what, 16 or something?
16, 17.
16, yeah, and Prim was only 12, so.
I actually saw something interesting the other day on, like, my Instagram suggested that was, like, if Prim had, like, gone to the Hunger Games, how she probably would have bonded with Rue, being, like, the younger ones. And that was very sad.
Yeah.
That is sad. Yeah, because Katniss took Rue under her wing because she thought of her sister.
Yeah. So I guess we can just kind of start talking about what we felt about it and comparing it to the movie. I read the book a really long time ago because they came out when I was in 5th grade. So how many years ago was that? Like 7 years. But I really liked the book. I thought it was really entertaining. I think I do like it more than the movie. I'm obviously much more prone to just putting on the movie than rather than picking up the book and starting to read again. So I've watched the movie a ton more since then. But I do remember the book being better solely because I was big on romance when I was a younger kid, and I loved the love triangle in the Hunger Games and the scenes in just written throughout the book with her and Peeta and then her and Gale. I really liked that in the book more than in the movie.
Yeah. I feel like the movie, like, watered them down a lot. Like, they just were, the characters were a lot more flat and, like, just, they didn't say all of the witty things that they were saying in the book. And I feel like, yeah, you're right about, like, Katniss and Peeta, like, they just weren't as close in the movie as they were in the book. And I would have liked to see that.
Yeah, I feel like Peeta is a lot more of a complex, dynamic character in the book. Like, I mean, obviously he's a baker and, like, does the cake decorating, so he has that camouflage skills. But I don't know, I feel like he's really, like, calculated with all his actions in the book, and, like, everything is very strategic. And in the movie, it's kind of like he's just trying to live and, like, find Katniss.
I agree. They really made him, like, Katniss's sidekick almost, in a way. Like, he was not... Like, the thing I see all the time is that Katniss knew how to, like, win the games and fight in the games, but Peeta knew how to play the games, and he was very methodical with what he was saying to the Capitol because before you go to the Hunger Games, you're obviously trying to get sponsors, and you're talking to the Capitol citizens to get money to support you in the arena, to get water, food, blankets, whatever. And he was very methodical with everything he was saying. His confession to Katniss of his love originally on that press event with all the tributes, I don't think it was some, like, thing that he just said because Caesar prompted him. I think in the books it was much more, like, thought out. And I mean, Haymitch even said, like, he just saved you and blah blah blah. But
he made her desirable.
Yes, yes. And I just feel like it was in the movies just much more like, look at this girl with a braid. She can shoot a bow. And then there he is. So I really wish we could have seen more of Peeta's, like, smart side, I guess.
Yeah. And they also made him seem so naive and, like, he was just, like, blinded by love. But he wasn't. And I feel like he was one of the reasons they were able to stay alive, because sponsors sent them, one, like, the medicine, because she, like, was hurt, right? She, like, got burned.
Yeah.
And two, like, they sent him soup and stuff. So without that, like, without the sponsors, they would never have been able to win like they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, he's a mastermind. And
especially that one scene in the movie where they, like, said everyone needs something and, like, come back to the cornucopia or whatever. That scene specifically where he's like, no, don't go, like, you're gonna get hurt. Like, that just really emphasizes, like, how little character they gave him in the movie.
Yeah.
So
I know it was meant to, like, boost Katniss's, like fighting character and everything, but yeah, I agree. He was nothing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I also feel like the other tributes were also watered down. In the books, like, obviously Suzanne Collins wasn't writing every little detail about Cato and that fox face and everything. But I feel like they were extremely watered down as well. Like, obviously the movie has to focus on their main character, but I feel like so much kind of was left out in the movie. And everyone's, like, intellectual abilities, like Foxface's strategies of finding food and laying low were left out. She was kind of just, like, I don't know. I feel like more could have been shown to show these tributes' talents, their intelligence, and, again, that they're all still just children fighting in these games.
Yeah.
And
I mean, they show Foxface, like, discovering the landmines first, which I think was good, but I don't know, the fact that she died by eating the berries was a little like, really? Because she was the one who was supposed to know all that stuff.
Yeah, well, she's pictured in the movie, like, matching, like, like, berries and leaves and stuff. Like, she knew what she was doing, and then they kind of dropped the ball on that one.
Yeah, like, she wouldn't just let her guard down because someone else was picking them.
Yeah, and I feel like they could have made the other tributes, like, they could have built them up a little bit more to, like, contrast against Katniss. Because they're all, like, very different, and they all had their own personalities and their own talents. And they could have emphasized that to show that Katniss was, like, divergent among them.
I agree. I feel like the intensity from districts 1 and 2, who are the career districts, obviously 4 too, but 1 and 2 are the main careers, and I feel like their brutality was kind of undermined, even though that also was the only thing that encapsulated them, and they kind of left out until the very end with Cato's humanity kind of coming out there at the end. I feel like they really just only made them these characters that had been training their whole life to play in the Hunger Games, but also downplayed their abilities at the same time. I don't really know how else to explain it, but They were
Yeah.
also just kids. They also all had lives ahead of them. And really the only time that we get to see that is when Kato is on top of the cornucopia and like just being like, I just want to live. I don't even know what happened. Like, I don't know how I got here. And then his inevitable death there by the mutts, it like, I don't know. I feel it was first full circle, but I feel like it could have been executed better like it was in the book.
Yeah, definitely.
I thought they did a really good job with Rue. I feel like the movie really brought her to life, and I don't remember who played her.
Amanda something.
Yeah. But I just feel like Rue's character was like such a great like contrast to Katniss's character, and I really loved like to see their relationship in the movies. And you know, there's only so much that the book can describe about the shrine that Katniss made for her, but it was like so touching to see.
Yeah, and it really just highlighted her like innocence and how obvious it was that she did not belong there.
And like we kind of said for the Ballad of Songbirds of Snakes, Katniss's singing to Rue, especially in that scene when she was dying, like really brought that whole scene to life for me, and really like that's one of my favorite scenes in the whole like movie franchise. It was so beautifully executed, and it really brings in the humanity again in these crazy brutal games. It's amazing. I really liked that scene too.
Yeah. All right, thank you for listening. Stay tuned for the next episode.